to change the franchise or the culture don't get me. It should be no question why NFL franchise should pick me.
In almost 40 years, I've never seen anything like this.
We all didn't expect this, of course, but tomorrow's the day. We're going to be happy regardless.
The Shedeur Sanders circus is officially over.
Alright, we talking about Shedeur today. So this past weekend, the NFL draft, Shedeur was expected to go the first round. So he ended up falling to the 5th round to the Cleveland Browns. And I feel like that's a good spot for him because before the Cleveland Browns had drafted him, they put a team in front of him. They drafted Mason Graham, the defensive tackle from Michigan. He had a good season, and they got a bunch of other good picks too before they got him in the 5th round. So when you look at the Cleveland Browns, their quarterback room right now is Deshaun Watson. We don't know whether or not he's going to play this year with his injuries and with his off the field legal issues, and I believe one or the other is going to keep him out. And then second, they have Joe Flacco, and we know he's 40 years old and he should be retiring by now. And then the other one they got is Kenny Pickett, right? So they drafted Shedeur and the Gabriel kid out of Oregon, and I feel like Shedeur is probably better than any one of those quarterbacks that they have on their roster, probably except for Deshaun Watson, but we don't know if he still has it anymore. So I feel like that was the right team for him to go to because he actually has a shot at the starting job. Had he went anywhere else in the first round besides Pittsburgh, he probably wouldn't have had a shot. So Cleveland did the right thing of drafting the pieces that they need for him to succeed. So we're going to go back to this Shedeur Sanders situation where many of the owners interviewed him and they said they didn't like his attitude. He was just being really confident, and he was just being upfront. That's just how he was raised. So when he said he wanted to change the franchise and the culture, he want to be like his daddy. His daddy came in and changed the complete franchise and nobody even cared about. So it's okay for him to feel like, hey, I'm going to go change a franchise like my daddy did. Like he put Atlanta on the map. And so with that said, I feel like that was the right situation for Shedeur Sanders was the Cleveland Browns. Now anywhere else, yeah, he probably would have had a hard time, coming out, except for maybe 2 other teams. But this draft was mostly about defense. So it's not that everybody felt like he sucked, that he wasn't good enough. It was just everybody felt like, was getting defensive players. And yeah, a lot of players passed on him because of how they felt about him. It was just something personal that they thought about him. But he was just, just being confident. This is why I expect. Because if you look at other quarterbacks that got drafted to these horrible teams, and man, it was hard on. Like, for an example, look at Zach Wilson. Look how good he was in college, and he got drafted to the Jets. And there was no way he could change that franchise because they gave him nothing to work with. At all, he didn't have no line. He didn't have no defense. He didn't have nothing. So Shedeur is at a team right now that's pretty much in rebuilding mode to where they have all the pieces for him to succeed in Cleveland. And I feel like Shedeur is going to surprise a lot of people this season. Even me, he's probably going to surprise me, but that's, he puts up certain numbers. But I kind of expect for him to start and just get things going in Cleveland. So I know a lot of people will disagree with me, but I'm riding with Shedeur on this one because he has something to prove. The way they dissed him, team owners passed on him because he was pretty much stereotyped. And, they looked and all his dad is cocky too. His dad is just being a father by saying, I just don't want my son going to any team that's not trying to rebuild around him. Instead, just let him get smashed after every play. That's all he was saying. He wasn't saying my son is too good to play with certain teams. Deion just know that certain teams are just not trying to do anything, specifically like the Cowboys. They're not trying to do nothing. So that's one team he probably wouldn't want to go to. So, so I know you disagree, agree, drop the comments and let me know what you think.